Harvey Weinstein was just arraigned in the retrial of his New York sexual assault case, and federal prosecutors have finally revealed the new charge against him. Weinstein was slapped with one count of criminal sexual act after his indictment was unsealed Wednesday in Manhattan criminal court. According to court documents, Weinstein allegedly forcibly performed oral sex on another person between April 29, 2006 and May 6, 2006.
As you come on to the page, kindly hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. And don't forget to put on your notification bell so you can be notified when I drop the next video. Thank you.
The former movie producer pleaded not guilty, but otherwise sat quietly in a wheelchair at the defense table in the courtroom. Before his arraignment, Weinstein was photographed being wheeled out of Bellevue Hospital in Manhattan and given a police escort to the courthouse. About a week ago, prosecutors announced Weinstein had been indicted by a grand jury, but the document was kept under seal while the 72-year-old felon recovered in the hospital from a medical emergency. In the original NYC trial, the jury found Weinstein guilty of first-degree criminal sexual act and third-degree rape. However, the jury found him not guilty on 2 counts of predatory sexual assault charges and a first-degree rape charge. At the time of the announcement of the indictment last week, sources told us prosecutors from Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office asked Weinstein to testify, but we're told HW declined to testify because prosecutors would not say who his new accusers are. Prosecutors did not reveal Weinstein's charges at the time of the indictment because he was rushed to the hospital days earlier for emergency heart surgery, and, therefore, couldn't be arraigned. Weinstein's conviction was overturned in April after an appeals court determined his constitutional rights were violated. The retrial is currently set for November. Weinstein remains a convicted felon in the 2013 rape of an actress in Los Angeles, for which he's serving a 16-year prison sentence. Harvey Weinstein's legal issues may get a whole lot worse. The former Hollywood producer is facing another possible criminal indictment. According to new court docs, obtained by TMZ, Weinstein's attorney, Arthur Aidala, testified at a hearing Tuesday in a Manhattan courthouse and acknowledged that a grand jury has been impaneled to look into fresh allegations of criminal wrongdoing by HW. During the hearing, Aidala told the court he is aware of 3 witnesses who testified before the grand jury in support of the prosecutor's request for a new indictment against his client. Aidala later told TMZ, he does not know the identities of the 3 people, but he seems to think all of them are new, complainant witnesses, who are accusing Weinstein of committing alleged sexual assaults. Aidala believes 2 out of the 3 alleged assaults took place between 2005 to 2006, and a third in 2016. Weinstein was convicted of sexually assaulting Mimi Haley and Jessica Mann at his first Manhattan trial in 2020 and sentenced to over 20 years in prison. In April, HW's conviction was overturned on appeal, but the Manhattan DA's office decided to prosecute the case again. At Tuesday's hearing, Aidala told the judge he wants to separate the Mann and Haley case from the potential new indictment coming down the pike. Aidala also mentioned that Weinstein, who suffers from a slew of physical ailments and is confined to a wheelchair, might want to go before the grand jury to insist he's innocent. We reached out to the Manhattan DA, so far no word back. Harvey Weinstein is battling a slew of health issues from a prison hospital, including the coronavirus and pneumonia. Weinstein has been transferred to Bellevue Hospital prison ward in Manhattan, where he's being treated for diabetes, high blood pressure, spinal stenosis and other conditions, his representative, Judah Engelmayer, confirmed to TMZ. Weinstein's camp says he's also tested positive for COVID-19 and double pneumonia. The health update was first reported Thursday by NBC News. Weinstein is awaiting a retrial in his NY rape case after his conviction was overturned in the spring. Meanwhile, his legal team is looking to get a separate rape conviction in California overturned as well. Last month he filed a new appeal. Weinstein has maintained his innocence throughout his highly publicized trials. It's the second time in 3 months the disgraced movie mogul has been hospitalized at Bellevue. He went there in April for tests, when one of his attorneys told us Weinstein's health was a bit of a train wreck. Harvey Weinstein's guilty verdict in New York was overturned, but there's no way that happens here on the West Coast, according to the LA County DA's office, that is. While many are questioning whether Weinstein's LA conviction will hold up now that a NY appeals court tossed his conviction, the prosecutors who handled the case here in Cali aren't worried one bit, telling TMZ its case was consistent with state law. A representative for the DA's office says California law allows propensity evidence, in sexual assault cases subject to a judge's discretion, and the office used evidence of Weinstein's sexual assaults in other jurisdictions to make its case totally legal, according to them. The DA's office says it's saddened by the appeal results in NYC, but adds it's sure his convictions in LA, for which Weinstein was sentenced to 16 years, will hold up under appellate scrutiny, and it intends for Weinstein to face consequences for his actions. In fact, the office is so sure its conviction will stand, that even its leader, District Attorney George Gaskin, went on the record, telling the Los Angeles Times he's totally comfortable with the conviction's validity. That said, the New York DA's office probably felt pretty confident when the decision came down from the Court of Appeals to vacate Weinstein's guilty verdict. The appeals court concluded Weinstein ended up more on trial for other instances of alleged past behavior as opposed to specific crimes prosecutors charged him with, and concluded he needed a new jury to weigh in. The Manhattan DA's office tells TMZ it plans to retry Weinstein, while his defense lawyer Jennifer Bonjean continues to work on his appeal in LA.
First of all, your reaction to the Court of Appeals in New York and how it might align with what you're trying to do in Los Angeles.
I'm not surprised by the decision of the Court of Appeals. Time and time again, trial judges, in the Cosby case, this case, they do not seem to understand that you cannot overwhelm a jury with multiple allegations, uncharged allegations, and expect a defendant to get a fair trial. And the high courts understand it. The trial courts do not, apparently. So they're going to continue to be reversed, and they need to understand that they have an obligation to an accused to give him a fair trial. And they didn't do it here, and they didn't do it in California as well. And that conviction was hanging on by a thread even before the news of this New York conviction being vacated.
As you come on to the page, kindly hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. And don't forget to put on your notification bell so you can be notified when I drop the next video. Thank you.
So we believe that conviction should go. In fact, I think he should be released on bail pending appeal right this very second. And that's what we're going to be working towards.
I know you want him freed pending appeal in California, but in New York, where they've said they do intend to retry him, and who knows how long that would take, do you think that you'd be able to get him out on bail in New York?
At the time that Mr. Weinstein was tried in California, this jury was under an assumption that he was convicted in New York. And that assumption is now a fallacy. He was not convicted. And that doesn't change whether they retry him or not. I would also point out that one of the accusers, Jane Doe 2, I believe, in the California case, was one of the Molyneux witnesses in New York. Okay? And when she was cross-examined, there was extensive cross-examination about her testimony in New York. So this jury in California was inundated with information that, yes, he was tried in New York, and they knew he was convicted in New York. And now that that conviction doesn't exist, whether they try to retry him or not, the reality is that jury was tainted. And I don't think a retrial changes that. There still needs to be a fair process. Our constitutional principles rely on it. And, whatever your feelings are about Harvey Weinstein, our system should work fairly for everybody, whether it's Harvey Weinstein or some John Doe. It has to work fairly for everybody. And the prosecution is taking too many liberties, and trial judges are allowing them to do it. And it needs to end.
JB sat down with us on TMZ Live Thursday, arguing the LA decision's gotta get overturned too because of the NYC outcome.
As you leave the page, don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.